Today, we will be discussing our Golden Stryker Expert Advisor by us here at Prosperity Algo Solutions. Stick around to the end to receive a free trial of this Expert Advisor. So, as the name would suggest, Golden Stryker is based on the three-line strike candlestick pattern. So to first go over what exactly that is, a three-line strike is a very powerful candlestick pattern, as it's typically, or it is, three candles in one direction. In this case, these are red bearish candles, followed by one large engulfing candle of the opposite direction, in this case that being a bullish green candle, which completely engulfs the three previous candles. So typically, this is a sign in the market that, let's say we're in an uptrend here, sellers have tried to regain control of price and push it in one direction. However, it simply does not work and they are overwhelmed by a large amount of bullish order flow. So this is really very similar to the impulse candle used in missile, except it's a way of denoting a powerful candle or measuring a powerful candle in a different way. In missile, which is one of our best expert advisors, we look to denote a large impulse in the market through both a fixed points as well as an ATR-based comparison of one candle to the previous candle. In Stryker, we're trying to detect a large impulse candle in the market by looking at one candle relative to the previous three. So effectively, if one candle is engulfing the three previous candles, that likely means that it's quite a large candle and is signaling an imbalance in the market. Candlestick patterns by themselves, though, are never particularly powerful or as powerful as they can be because you need to understand the broader market context. That's why in our Stryker Expert Advisor, we actually combine both this candlestick pattern with filters as well as machine learning. The filters, which the most important ones, are really a trend filter. So ultimately, you don't want to be trying to use this when the market is going in the opposite direction. So to be more specific, this would indicate a bullish three-line strike, i.e. you'd be entering a long trade. You likely don't want to do this when you're in a downtrend, simply because you would be fighting the direction of the trend. I find that this is generally much more accurate when you look to take bullish three-line strike pattern trades in an uptrend, and inversely you look to take bearish ones in a downtrend. So that's exactly what Stryker does. And second of all, using a machine learning filter, which is based on random forest classifiers, is also extremely powerful because you can feed a collection of indicators, slopes, percentage change of price to a model, which will then build a decision tree and use that as an additional decision-making process when deciding to take trades. If you're curious in particular how this works, I really encourage you to go check out a video we made on how we use AI in trading and how AI can really be used in trading. And that should provide a little bit more context here. So let's quickly open up MetaTrader where we can see a backtest of Stryker. So this was a backtest performed with the FP Markets broker using every ticks based on real ticks from 2022 to today. As you can see here, we used every tick based on real ticks from 2022 to 2024. We can now go through the back test here and see that we're having roughly an 86% win rate with the Stryker system. And our initial deposit of $1,000 turned into a little bit over $2,000 over the course of the period. As expected here, we can also see an inverse risk reward, with the average profit trade being roughly $8 and the average loss trade being roughly $34. We can now go through this chart up here as well to see how some of these trades would look. And Stryker trades on both the 1 minute and the 5 minute chart, so you may have to toggle between both charts to be able to see how it works perfectly. This would be a great example up here though. You can see we have three smaller bullish candles which are fully engulfed by a bearish candle, and then price starts to proceed downwards. So this is a good way of detecting an impulse in the market where in this case sellers have regained control and they're pushing down price. And we can take an example of a loss trade on the 1 minute from earlier. And just scroll a bit. Here we go. So this was an example on the 1 minute where we have 1, 2, 3, push down, but unfortunately here was a loss, and it went up and we took a loss. But this would be an example of, generally speaking, how the system works. Now, if you guys like how the system looks, we'd really encourage you to head over to our WAP page where you're able to actually get a free trial of the Golden Stryker system. The Golden Stryker is also our more economical system, and frankly this is because in backtest the returns are not quite as high as Sniper or Missile. That being said, something which I would encourage you to do is to run both an every ticks based on real ticks backtest as well as an every tick backtest, because if you run an every tick backtest, you're able to see significantly higher returns. However, and as a caveat, I typically always tell people to always run an every tick based on real ticks backtest, as it is simply more accurate. And I don't like to say or to caveat that the every ticks backtest is better, because it simply isn't. But what I have noticed from live performance with Stryker in particular is that the every ticks based on real ticks backtest does tend to be a little bit too punitive. So I like to personally look at a mix of both every tick based on real ticks and every ticks for this particular system, just because I have found that to be the most accurate. However, because the every tick based on real ticks backtest, which is the gold standard, isn't as good for this system as the others, we simply make it cheaper, because then you're able to go and actually assess if it's worth it for yourself. You can run it in a demo. So recognizing that we never want to sell snake oil, we want to be fully honest with our clients, that's why we make this one cheaper, just because you don't have the same strength as you would as the other ones. So in full transparency, that's really the cost, and encourage you to run both backtests. So please head over to our WAP page linked in the description, get a free trial, and let us know how you find the system. Take care.